taking advantage of opportunities that you have no idea when they're going to come, how they're going to come. But I think as you get to a comfortable place and allow yourself to accept where you are and that you still can do things that you may not think right now that you can do, but I know you can because I've been there. But the opportunities that are in front of you are endless, to be quite honest with you. It's just a matter of you deciding what you want to do, be that travel, be that still have a relationship, get married, start a business, drive, reclaim your independence. It's not an easy process, but it is a doable process.
What I'm going to ask you to do is I want you to take an inventory of your skill sets, right? Before the injury. All right. So before the injury, what were your skill sets? What did you do so well? Were you a carpenter? Were you a banker? What was your career before this happened? Okay. Because when I talk about opportunities, you're going to have to create, you're going to have to be very creative in that opportunity because there's so many entrepreneurs out there today. And the reason that why there's so many entrepreneurs out there today is because everybody wants to stop working for somebody else. They want to be their own boss. So here's an opportunity for you. Okay, now that you're paralyzed, you got all this attention on you. How do you take that and make that a plus? How do you make that something that you have something to give? And the first thing I started learning is learn your story. In this book, you talked about writing a letter to God. All right. The next assignment I'm going to give you is to take it and make an inventory of where you were at before this injury and what can you modify now in one to continue to do what you were doing before that injury. All right. So if you were a banker, you could probably still be a banker in a wheelchair. If you were this or that, you could probably still do it. For me, I was 17 years old. I was a carpenter's apprentice. I was a gymnast. Couldn't do no gymnastics no more. Couldn't do carpentry anymore in that physical sense. But the first thing that somebody noticed is how I spoke and how I spoke to people, how I told stories. And they go, wow, you're a funny guy. So what did I start doing? I started telling stories, funny stories. And that's just a small piece of trying to find things within you that can become opportunity depending on the time and investment that you put into it. Your injury has not stopped you from becoming successful, but you still have to work at becoming successful. Your injury has not stopped you from just getting in front of the line in that sense to success. You still have to work for it just like everybody else. So again, you're probably stuck, like I got stuck, on what I lost. All right. And when you get stuck there, you can't really see what you can do. And not only that, you can't really see what you have the ability or the willingness to learn to do that will make you successful. So that part of life has not stopped with your paralysis. Your body hasn't been affected, but your mind, your heart, your spirit, still intact. The thing is, you need to connect with it. See, we probably took it for advantage when we could physically go up the stairs, down the stairs, dress ourselves, brush our teeth, wipe ourselves and stuff like that. We took all that for advantage. If anything, that was on like autopilot, like driving. This injury, what it does to you, it stops everything. That's why it's called paralysis, because it stops everything. It doesn't mean that you have to stay paralyzed, though, okay? In that sense, to where I can still feel productive, in that sense, to where I still have something to give. You can still move forward. Believe it or not, I move forward much faster in this motorized wheelchair than I did most people walking. I know walking, I think sometimes overrated. But anyway, you find the opportunity and how you create the way you see things. And some people are going to find that funny. Sometimes people are going to find that beautiful, because I can't tell you how many people I know off the bat, somebody who has passed, Christopher Reeve, and what he did with his paralysis. I just think of other amazing people that I know, painters that I know that are paralyzed from the neck down. That's all they got. But they put a toothbrush in their mouth and they paint. You just never know where these opportunities are going to come from because you haven't found it yet at that time. All your focus is on the paralysis right now. To start thinking about opportunities, it's hard because you don't have everything you might need in order to be that successful to where the success is going to take you. I'm here today doing what I do today because of all that time and energy and work that I put into getting better to be here with you today. So don't think that this is a course that you could just take and zoom, zap, it's done. It's not, but it's a beginning. It's a valuable beginning because if you didn't take this course with me, then you wouldn't got to know me. You know, it's how you listen, not just to me, but how you listen to other people. You know, do you see it? How you see things? Again, are you just seeing what you can't do? Are you just listening to what you don't want to hear? Or are you being still? Are you getting quiet? Are you allowing new information in? And that's for me is the opportunity today is just to be still, get out of my head and just allow for some new stuff to come in. And this, my friend, this course that you're taking, this is new stuff. You probably heard some of it before, but you never heard it from me. And now you are. Do with it what you will, but it's some good stuff. Good stuff.
So I want to take this opportunity on behalf of myself and my good friend Hector to thank you for investing in you. Yes, you took our course, but I think the bigger point is that you took the next step. And I think that what I really want to know is I want to find out more about you. Who are you? Who were you prior to becoming disabled for whatever reason? That's what I'm really interested in because you know what? You're still that person. And I think that you need to give you the permission and the okay to figure out and understand your why. Like, why am I still here? Why can't I do this? Or just ask why. Try to get to a point that you work on that. Think that we don't really understand what's really already inside of us. But until we try to tap into that and figure that out, we limit ourselves. So don't limit yourself. You already have, for the most part, everything you need. You may just need a little bit of help and direction here and there to get you from point A to point B. So thank you again.
I've said it throughout the course that I'm 40 years into this paralysis thing. And just a couple of years ago, a friend, a roommate of mine, flies drones all over the place, right? Flies drones. He was showing me all his drones and stuff like that. And I was like, oh man, that's so cool. Bottom line is that this guy showed me how to fly a drone where I thought that I could never fly a drone. I don't have the figure dexterity. My hands are paralyzed. So dude, I could never do that because he put it right there on my table. He goes, come on, you can try it. I said, dude, you're funny, man. Don't do that. You know, and he goes, dude, I'm sorry if I offended you, but why can't you do it? Well, dude, I can't hold on to the little sticks, you know? Blah, blah, blah. He goes, all right, well, let's take a look at that. I swear within a week or so, this guy had me flying drones. Same guy, right? And I thought it was something that I couldn't do. I kept on looking at what this guy could do, and I thought that I couldn't do it. But nobody asked me why. Nobody said, well, why can't you do it? I put it in my own head and I couldn't do it. I had the figure dexterity. I can't do it that good, whatever. But it just took that one guy to say, I think you can. And not that he knew exactly how I was going to do it because he was learning about me as well too. But we did it together. You know, okay, yeah, that didn't work. Shit, that sucked. But then we tried again. And then we tried again, and then we tried again, and I just learned how to do things. So I guess the short part of the story is there that you will never know what you can do unless you really try to do it. And then if you fail the first time, it all depends on how bad you want to try to do it. Because there's like a lot of things that you did before that you're just gonna have to learn how to modify. You don't have to like throw it out in the baby in the bathwater, that whole saying there. You have to throw that all out. But you just have to modify it, change it up a little bit, touch up on it, man. Because whatever you add to that might be that you could teach another person who has the same type of injury that didn't know that they could do something like that. So everything is on the table. What are you bringing?
You may not know this right now, and you don't know if you're going left, you don't know if you're going right, you just don't know. And I've been there. But if you keep an open mind, you celebrate the small wins or small accomplishments along the way, in time, you'll get there. And what I mean by that is that opportunities will find you, but you have to get back out there so that you can find them. One thing that I can tell you, and that I hope that you will get out of this course, is the ability to accept what's happened and to attempt and try to move forward. That takes courage. And believe it or not, and I'm just speaking from past experience, that when you decide to try and keep your options open, you will be amazed at the opportunities that will present themselves to you in the future. I mean, take me, for instance. After my accident, didn't know which way I was going, left or right, started interacting, went to a clinic, talking to some other people, peer mentoring. Then I was asked or invited to tag along with some of my peers to peer mentor. And that was an opportunity that I didn't say no to. I said yes. And from there, I had an opportunity to become an advocate. Had no idea what an advocate was, but someone asked me if I would be interested in representing others with disabilities. And I said yes. And it was because of that decision that I had even more opportunities become available by simply saying yes, keeping your options open, having an open mindset, and understanding that you still have a lot of ability, way more ability than you think. One of the smartest gentlemen I've met throughout this process was named Earl. Earl was an astrophysicist. Earl could not verbally speak, but yet we had a conversation. And through that conversation, Earl inspired me to be Earl's voice. So that's also one thing. You will find things along your journey that will inspire you and kind of lead you in the right direction. So my advice would be to keep your options open and just make an attempt to try and see what happens.
What I really want you to know is that there is an entire community of thousands of people out there that need you. They need to hear your story. They need to hear about you. They need to hear about your problems. They need to hear about what's going on, because you know what? A dozen or so of them can probably relate and identify with that problem. And it wasn't until I came out of my shell and started getting involved within my own community that I realized that I'm a valuable part of this community. You know, I got involved with organizations. Sometimes they were big organizations. Sometimes they were small organizations, like right across the street from my house. Sitting on a board of an organization. Get involved is what I'm saying. It's not going to cost you anything but your time. So get involved, see what's needed. And don't just be about what your needs are. See what's needed for the entire community. You know, join others. And like I said before, you don't do this by yourself. So the way that I would start seeking opportunities is by getting out of yourself, getting out of your comfort zone, all right, and start meeting new people and start addressing new things. For those of you who do not know, the Americans with Disabilities Act, created in 1990, something I didn't really care about. I didn't realize what that was going to do for me. But when I got with some other people that were getting involved because they wanted to make changes, man, that opened up my whole nother world right there. You know, so you may not like statistics or anything like that, but I know there are so many thousands of men that become paralyzed every year. Every year. Those guys need you. We all need each other, is the bottom line of what I'm trying to say. So looking forward to working with you further on this. It's a process, take some time, but you're not alone.